who are probably much better than me who are thinking I'm silly. But I did an okay job. They did what they were supposed to do. And your infantry were basically unscathed, so you did exactly what you were supposed to do.
The Imagawa request peace from me. Is that their only province?
Nope, they've got 2, so they will not become your vassal. A clan will only become your vassal in this game if they've only got 1 province left.
I'm gonna ask them for money. Because I don't need to help you, I don't think.
No, I'm going to just mow through them. I've got more men on the way. Actually, I don't.
Maybe they'll give me 50. See if they'll give me 100. Alright, they'll give me 100.
Nice.
Alright. Every little bit of money counts. It matters, especially in the beginning.
Yeah. So, another thing that I'd like to say about, like, just basic infantry versus cavalry tactics. So, polearms allow you, generally speaking, to defeat cavalry. You can have an armored horse. You can have a very, very long lance on a horseman that can outreach, certain polearms that a footman would use. So there are ways that you can sometimes overcome that. But generally speaking, polearms beat cavalry in that sense. The reason that cavalry are still important, why everybody doesn't just, carry a bunch of spears, is because cavalry are very, very good against non-polearm infantry. So bowmen, swordsmen, guys whose job might not necessarily be front lines combat. The cavalry have huge advantages over them because, A, you can charge in and your horse can trample people. Like, war horses are big, scary beasts. They will ride you down. The other thing is that when you are riding with the horse, any blow that you land on an enemy, be it with a lance or a sword or a mace, whatever, carries with it extra momentum because especially with a lance, it's all of your weight, plus all of your armor, plus the weight of your horse, all moving at the speed that your horse is able to get you to, which is pretty darn quick, and then plowing into an enemy and putting all of that force into a very, very small point. So cavalry are very, very dangerous on the charge against non-spear armed infantry. So that's how you generally want to use them. Now I can take Totomi in an auto-resolve because they don't have very many soldiers, and I'm not going to lose anything important. I will show you, I promise, and talk about castle warfare. I will show you lots of it, I'm assuming. But for right now, that wasn't a very battle to fight. I just wanted to skip it. And my general, my daimyo, ranks up. Peacefully occupy. So, Hirotaka.
Congratulations on your first territory.
I haven't actually lost any honor, so it must just be a diplomatic penalty, not an honor penalty.
Yeah, it must be like minus 50 to diplomatic relations or something.
I'm going to get a treasurer because plus 1% to trade income from tariffs. The other one was a doctor, and honestly, when this guy dies, fine, because then I can actually play as Ieyasu, who is the more interesting historical figure. So I want the treasurer for the increase in trade. Gotta love those complex trade networks, guys. And because I just took this territory, Totomi, I can build a market there to replace the one that I destroyed in Mikawa.
Because it's much better to have stables in Mikawa because of the horse breeders.
Because of the special building that I have there, the horse breeders. You've got to maximize the resources that are local and exploitable. And that's kind of a trend throughout human history. Where things are available, they are exploited to the fullest of their extent. And you see that in the way technologies develop as well. I'll talk maybe a little bit more about that when we talk about the katana. I don't really want to get into that yet because I want to do a little bit of brushing up research on the formation of the katana before I actually start talking about that.
Alright.
I think I'm ready to pass turn. I built a thing. I've got 1,000 gold. I guess I could recruit to Bo Ashigaru, and then I'll pass turn. Hopefully I'll be able to get some Ashigaru from you soon, because your Ashigaru are much better than mine.
They are slightly larger and cheaper, yes?
Yes, and they are better fighters.
Yeah, their stats are slightly better.
Yeah.
Maybe up more melee defense by 1, some more morale definitely.
And I think like 1 or 2 more melee attack. He's going to be kind of using a lot of massed pike units, basically. They're called long yari ashigaru. And so if you don't know what a pike is a massively long 2-handed spear. They can be up to 15 feet long. They can be really, really huge. And so they're pretty specialized anti-cavalry weapons, but you can use them obviously against infantry too. You just have to be very, very tightly packed in your formation, like what I was showing you before, kind of on steroids.
I'm currently researching up to Heaven and Earth because I need that prerequisite in order to get the little long yari ashikaru.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea to go for. I'm going right now. I just got Way of Chi because I wanted to build a market. Now I'm going for Form. I was actually going for Way of Chi because I forgot to check, and that was what was going for me. But whatever. I'm going for Form because I want to get a Hero Cav as soon as possible.
I made my first ninja.
You know what? Maybe I won't go for Form. I'm going to go for Heaven and Earth as well, because honestly, I'd rather just have high armored, high charge bonus, or maybe just pure charge bonus light cav before anything else.
Well, I would say the armor is much more useful.
Yeah. High charge bonus, high armor would be really, really solid. I really want to get my warhorse.
Going to one extreme, I feel, makes you vulnerable to the one that beats it.
Yeah.
If you prioritize 2 things, then...
Yeah. So that's kind of like, for example, I watch a YouTuber named Volland. I think he's quite good, and I've learned a lot from him. But that's one difference that I kind of have with him, is I would prefer to have like +4 melee attack, +2 armor, than +6 melee attack on, say, a Yari Ashigaru unit. Because I'd like that +2 armor to, be able to shrug off a few more arrows, be able to take a charge a little bit better. And then you've still got the +4 melee attack. Still a massive bonus. I don't know. That's just my personal difference. I respect your opinion, which is that you want to have as extremely that unit as possible, as a katana samurai as you can make it. And you honestly make it work. I'm just not quite as good at micromanaging units as you, so I prefer to have a little bit more flexibility. Alright, 2 more Bow Ashigaru to Totomi to hold it, while I send the army up to the border to wait.
Wait. I'm surprised.
Yeah, they've got that.
Worked.
They've got that little army there, but if it attacks me, I'll whoop it. Like, if it attacks Totomi, my garrison plus the reinforcements whoop it. If it attacks me on the field, I can just run away and shoot arrows at them for eternity. Hell, I could even put myself on top of a hill and charge down the hill with the Bow Ashigaru, and I'd feel fine. I want to finish off these guys, and I want to take Suruga because it has a philosophical tradition.
Seems good.
The philosophical traditions are basically places in Japan where there were really solid academic movements, like scholars and monks working together to decipher Chinese texts and learn more about Confucianism and, create their own philosophical works as well. And so if you own one of those places, the rate at which you research these various technology will increase. You'll be able to get fancy units before other people. You'll be able to get economic bonuses before they get them. Generally speaking, this Bushido tree, this is for military technologies. So you notice the very first unit that you can recruit if you upgrade the first technology is Katana Samurai. You then get other kinds of samurai, hero units, various things like that. On the right-hand side, you have the Way of Chi. That's economic and spiritual development. So infrastructure, roads, farms, temples, markets. This is where you get those upgrades. I would say they're both pretty equally important. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Bring it on, Imagawa. If you take on Totomi, I have pretty full confidence I can defeat you.
Whoa, Takeda. Already 3 provinces.
I can't see them yet. Must be because you're trading with somebody who can see them. Or something
Yeah,
like
it just popped up on my map.
So they got Kai, North Shinano, and what, Hida?
Yes.
Scary,
They're
scary.
going north.
Hey, if they want to take out the Iko Iki, let them. That is religious conversion stuff that you don't have to do.
I know. I am so okay with that.
And so they didn't attack me. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, darn. Winter attrition. If you leave one of your armies in an enemy territory during the winter, you will lose men. This is called attrition. Attrition means the loss of men through kind of exposure or starvation or desertion or just kind of a long, slow process. So if you're stuck in the winter in an enemy territory, some of your guys might freeze to death. Some of
You're not going to have supplies coming in either.
Yeah, some of your men might starve because you're cut off from your territory's supply. In your territory, your daimyo can go up to any peasant house and say, feed me, and they have to. In an enemy territory, you can't do that because you'll alert the enemy samurai that you're nearby. You might be forced to scavenge or even commit banditry in order to survive during the winter. So you lose guys if you leave them in enemy territory over the winter. Any American history buffs out there can imagine Valley Forge with General George Washington. He lost men to the elements, and we like to talk about the bravery and the loyalty of the men who were there, but I'm positive that a handful left and didn't come back. They deserted. That's just something that happens. If you put people through enough duress, some of them might crack. Alright, I'm going to have to move my Metsuke to Totomi to keep it under control. I thought the bows and a unit of Ashigaru would be enough. Turns out it's not. And I believe I can now take out my hated old rivals. Upgrade to a Warhorse Stables, or I'm going to upgrade my Stronghold.
Make sure you leave the general out.
Yeah. I'm going to have to attack their army first. Actually, what I could do is I can attack with that to make them run away. And then you move forward, and you attack. Because I want to give my daimyo as many ranks as possible. He is the priority experience recipient. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now I need to seriously get some soldiers up here, because I'm going to be up against the Hojo next.
And also, if you were watching, the unit that was right there disappeared.
Yep.
Because he took the final province of them. And if they were in the area of that province, they would have stayed. But since they were in Rival 1, they just disbanded and became bandits probably.
Yeah. So if you are a samurai and your lord, your daimyo, dies without an heir or is somehow dishonored, you and your life and all of your property and all of your family's life is forfeit. According to the code of the samurai, and it was not always followed, there are examples of people who were, according to this code, cowardly, but if you were a samurai, according to the code, if you lost your lord, or you betrayed your lord, or your lord died without an heir, not somebody for you to follow, and you were therefore a houseless samurai, and your options were either commit seppuku, which is ritual suicide. I'll explain perhaps more gruesome detail another time. Or you became a ronin. A ronin is a masterless samurai. And so as a ronin, your only options basically are find another lord who will take you in, which would be pretty darn hard because they would consider you dishonorable, or become a bandit. And so that's why a lot of the mountain roads in Japan were plagued by bandits. That's why the oceans had wako, or pirates. Is just kind of the situation you find yourself in as a samurai. Well, do I kill myself or do I try and find another lord? What is the more honorable option in that situation?
I would want to die.
Yeah, so you would have to kind of become a bandit. Or maybe you would get lucky and you'd be allowed to be a bodyguard for a merchant, or you might become a bodyguard for a Buddhist temple. You might do something along those lines. But for the most part, your options are banditry or service to another lord.
Which kind of sucks if you think about it, because it wasn't your fault, it was the daimyo's fault.
Yeah, but the ultimate
do anything about it.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. But the ultimate virtue of I'm actually at war with the Takeda and I have a border with them. That's bad. The ultimate virtue of a samurai is loyalty. Loyalty to the point of death and beyond. And if you don't demonstrate that, whatever bad happens to you is kind of considered to be your fault. You should just kill yourself then, according to this samurai mentality. Not saying it was right, not saying it was wrong. That was the culture of that particular caste of Japanese society. Japanese peasants at this point in history would not have been like that. Japanese peasants worked the land, did their job, hopefully made enough to eat and survive, and generally were not really part of the political power struggles. So they wouldn't be expected to commit seppuku if the lord died. They would just become the new lord's property, whoever took over the territory. That kind of doesn't apply to peasant soldiers. Obviously, if you've been conscripted in the army, you might be expected to die. But if you were just a peasant working your field, you wouldn't commit seppuku. That's a samurai thing. Especially not if you were a merchant or an artisan.
Though samurai did view peasants as expendable and could kill them at any time, yes?
Yes, the law was that any samurai could cut down any peasant for any slight imagined or real. That sounds super extreme, but you've got to also recognize that samurai considered peasants to be the property of whoever their lord was. So unless you wanted to insult the local lord, you wouldn't just walk down the street chopping dudes up left and right. He'd be like, dude, why are you messing with my property? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade farms everywhere. Actually, I can't afford to and get a unit this turn. I kind of need the unit. Bows and whatnot, go to Saruga. I'm just going to have to
always
not
upgrade farms.
Yep. I'm going to have to not tax Totomi, which is unfortunate because I need the money, but I need to keep sending troops down. I'm going to make a couple of light cav just to be expendable troops.
Oh yeah, you need your light cav, and hopefully you'll give me some.
Yeah, I will. Not right now, but I will. I'm not going to recruit 2. That's too much money. I'll recruit 1 for me and 1 for you. That way we'll both have 2 generals and a light cav. And if you wanted to give me some Ashigaru, I would accept them, certainly. I really do not want...
Once I'm done upgrading everything, yes.
I'm going to ask the Takeda for peace. Deal is unacceptable. I have no children to offer as hostage.
You have no daughters?
Nope.
To marry?
Ieyasu is 3. I think he's too young to send as a hostage. Yeah, if I were to really, really, really super duper follow history, I would have had to wait, like... I would have had to wait 12 turns, give him as a hostage to the Imagawa. You would have had to kidnap him and hold him for... I think the Oda had him for 4 years, so I'm not positive, but I think so. So that would be 16 more turns.
That's a long time.
I'm just not gonna do that. We're gonna speed things up a little bit. But this will be the interesting venue by which I will talk about history, and hopefully people will learn and be interested. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and pass turn.
Takeda are attacking Lakiso. Enter on war, unsighted ally.
Now they'll give me a peace treaty, and I might take it so that I can attack the Hojo. Because I want Sagami. I'm going to make them pay me. Will you pay me 1,000 gold? Nope. Will you?
They usually will give you money as long as they're the one who initiated it and whatever's left in their bank account, I think.
Well, they won't even give me 100s. They've got nothing, but they will trade with me, so I'll take that. Because that means I can buy their lumber and tax it a little bit. Gotta love those complex trade networks, guys. All sorts of empires are a result of those. Pass turn, pass turn, pass turn. Ooh, Satomi took Sagami. No, I want that. Well, I can take Izu. I can take the gold mine.
Gold mine is very nice to have. Yeah. Great clan destroyed. The Iko-Iki have been destroyed. Good. The Sakai did it.
Good job, Sakai.
Alright. Do you want Oda Ashigaru now?
Not right now.
Okay.
Soon. You can keep those ones. I'm going to keep this first cavalry unit.
Right. Then I will pass turn or do nothing.
I'm going to upgrade my farm some more. Need that food surplus. The food surplus allows me to upgrade my castles. In real life, the food surplus allows for there to be more specialization of labor. That's the biggest and most important thing, the biggest advantage that agricultural societies have over nomadic societies, is that it allows for a greater specialization of labor. You can't have your master super duper crazy incredibly good swordsmith if there isn't enough surplus food to feed him. If there isn't enough extra food being made after you feed the farmers who grew it to continue to feed the craftspeople, the doctors, the scholars, the warriors, the merchants. All of those other people cannot exist without a food surplus. So by upgrading my farms and getting more food surplus, I can upgrade my castles and build better dojo for different kinds of soldiers, build sake dens to recruit ninja, all sorts of things. So that's what I'm doing right now. My army...
Can you get me 79?
How much?
79.
Okay, let me look at this real quick.